So,
All right. What's going on, everyone? How's it going, guys? We are live.
What up?
Up? What's up? We got David and Carlson
today,
here. For those of you guys that are here with us, guys, let's try and use. David had a good idea with using the Get Shit Done chat. So let's use this chat for the webinar. So let's try and use that as the chat. It'll be a lot easier going back and forth as it updates live. It'll be a lot easier as we go moving forward. I'll wait for a couple minutes, just make sure that the people that do want to get here do get the opportunity to do so. We'll make sure that what we want to do is just kind of, David had the idea, he wants to be able to go over a couple things with you guys, for some of you guys, especially for the new people, just to be able to go over some people that have been having issues with accounts getting flagged. So we'll just kind of go over some of the stuff of what you guys can do to be able to prevent that, what you guys can be able to do as well to be kind of prepared if that does happen, what you guys can do about that as well, and going over some stuff like that too. Just make sure, is this tonight just for, no. All right, we'll wait just a couple minutes here, and then we'll get going pretty good in a few minutes. I'm just 1 second. I'm going to shoot a link into another chat here. Is it the YouTube page link? I don't even know. I end up posting both. Does the event page link even work, you guys? Or is it the YouTube one?
let me check.
I think it's that one, hopefully. I'll just post the other one too. Good thing you don't have to be
Yeah, that event link should take it there too. Yeah.
Okay.
The plus.google link.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, hope all you guys have been doing well. I mean, we had to skip out on last week's. We've been doing a lot of cool stuff behind the scenes. Me and Julian, I think he just ran upstairs. Me and Julian have been working on some cool stuff for you guys, going back and forth with programmers. We've got the back office back in place. We're just kind of moving stuff around, get everything all together for the system and stuff, putting all the training, uploading all the videos and stuff. So it's getting really fun there. That's going to be a little bit down the road, but lots of cool stuff that we're going to be launching out with there. So we just want to be able to kind of see where you guys are all at, what you guys all been up to, how everything's been going for you guys, so we can kind of see where you guys are at right now, what we can be doing moving forward for you all. I've seen a lot of you guys been doing some crazy results. Obviously, David and Carlson, you guys have been crushing it. But I've seen a lot of other new names that have been popping up a lot from getting lots of leads, new members coming in and stuff like that. So that's awesome. As we're going through here, if any of you guys have any specific questions of anything that you want us to kind of break down for you, if there's any situation that you're in right now that you kind of want myself, Eric, or David to be able to kind of break down and see where you're at, what we would do moving forward in that situation, feel free to let us know in the Get Shit Done chat. Just type a question in there as we go moving forward. As David or myself or whoever's talking, so we can kind of get as many questions as we can possibly get them answered as we're going. What's up, Corey? How's it going, boss? What's up, Matt? How's it going, Dalton? Eric? Let's all try and use the GSD chat. Try to use the GSD chat as much as we can, if we can possible, in your messages. Just because it updates live, it'll be a lot easier for everyone to use there. We've got about 10 or so people going. Chat and Messenger, yeah, I guess I could. What's going on, Dalton? How's it going, boss? So for those of you guys that are here, maybe before we get kicked off, let's kind of see like where you guys are at. What have you guys been doing for the last little bit? Have you guys been split testing? Have you caught any ads that are converting? How's everything been going? So Joe, what's up? Yeah, you can watch the replay at any time, bud. So that's good. But yeah, let's see where you guys are at. Like Dalton, Corey, Matt, Eric. Matt, I know you've been having some issues with Corey. If you can use the, I don't actually know if Corey's in this chat. Maybe that's why. Oh, he's not even in the chat. That would make sense. Here, but Corey, I'll add you into this chat right now, bud. Dalton, I don't think you're in there either. Okay, so you use this chat, guys. Awesome. So you guys are grinding good, getting stuff done, reading, listening to audios constantly. Awesome. This is the main thing moving forward. David's going to be talking about some stuff with Facebook ads and some stuff about that. But again, it's all going to come back down to what type of mindset, if you are focusing on yourself more than you focus on your business, because that's going to really dictate the type of results you get when you start applying the stuff that David's going to lay out for you guys. So going great, got some ads that are killing it, getting close to 100 leads a day, and I'm getting leads at about 25 cents. Dalton, that's awesome. That's really good. Now I know you're in AWOL Elite, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure I've seen you in the group there. That's kind of goes to show what kind of happens when you get that type of level of training. I mean, your numbers like that, where you're getting 100 leads a day and getting leads for 25 cents, everyone else is going to look at you like you're crazy, because that's really, really good. That's awesome, dude. But that's, again, this is why we're always talking about focusing on yourself more than you focus on your business, and getting the knowledge and the information that you need. Because look at what that investment in yourself has done to the results that you're getting. Look at 25-cent leads. That's pretty crazy. Most people are paying more than that per click. You know what I mean? But when you're able to track everything, it really makes everything that much easier. When not only do you know how to put all the pieces of the puzzle together yourself, but you know how to monetize each one, and how to make each one work the best possible, and how to split test every part of the equation so that you get the best results possible. And this is where, when you really want to take it to the next level, and you really want to get these results that are going to give you that full-time income that allow you to go and travel and live life by your own design, like this is really the ticket to be able to go and get to that. We can chat about. We're actually going to cut this off at 7 so that we can all get over to the. Eric, I'll add you in there now, but so we can all get over to the AWOL Elite chat, the Elite Hangout. There is one right after this, and I want to make sure that everyone that is in Elite does get the opportunity to do so. I'm trying to add you in right now, Eric. Okay, Jeff, been moving at 5 ads converting. I'm scaling up slowly. How much per day should I scale up? Okay, cool. This is one thing where obviously we all want to scale fast. You know, that's why we're here. We want to get in. We want to scale it quick. We want to spend as much as Facebook will let us. But at the same time, Facebook is there to take your money. That's their business, right? They're not there to ensure that you get the best results possible. They're there to make sure that they make the most money. So they're trying to spend your money as fast as possible. So Jeff, what I always do is I always try and keep it between like $10 to $20 increments per day that I'll increase by. Even sometimes doing a $20 increment that could blow it out, right? So when if I were to make a $20 change, like say it was at $10 a day and I'm changing it to $30 a day, I would make sure that I did that at like midnight or 1 a.m., like right at the beginning of the day, so that when I do change that, it has the time to run through the whole day. Because we need to keep in mind, guys, too, that Facebook operates on a 24-hour schedule. So if you start your ads 3 hours before midnight, all of a sudden your whole budget's going out in 3 hours rather than going out in 24 hours, which is what we all want to be able to do. Because what happens is when they have that full time, they're going to take their time on who they put your ad out to and who's going to see your ad. Rather than in 3 hours, they're like, oh, just give it to anyone. We just want to spend the money. They're just trying to get it out really, really quick and just get it all out there. So I would do, safer side, $10 a day. But if you're wanting to scale quick, $10 to $20 a day. If you do, I just try to always do it at the very beginning of the day. So like when you're at 0 spent for the day and it's reset. Some people, I don't know if it's different for everyone in every different time zone or not, but just keep note of, just see your daily spend. If your daily spend says 0, you know it's just restarted, or like 10 cents or $1, you know it's just kind of restarted. But if your daily spend sends like $27 or something, or however much, David, was there something you wanted to touch on that?
Well, yeah, you can actually look up in somewhere in the settings. I'll find it and I'll post it in here somewhere. But you can find exactly what time schedule you're on in Facebook. So you can find the actual like what your specific midnight is. So it could be. I think a lot of it defaults to midnight Eastern. So if you are, in a different time zone, it could affect that. So there is a spot in the settings you can find that.
Okay, awesome. I actually didn't even know that, so that's cool. That's cool. So Josh says funnel is running good. Just learning how to make my team's funnels. Also started using AdExpresso. AdExpresso is insane. I actually just started. We just got a new account back up that we're going to start running some ads with. Me and Julian are both, and we're just playing around with AdExpresso, and it was crazy. Carlson, from since you showed us that, it was nuts. And I was asking a couple of people who used it. Justin's like, yeah, I set up something like 80 ads in 10 minutes or 5 minutes. I was like, holy crap. That's what's really cool, guys. For those of you guys that do get to the point where you have enough of a budget to be able to split test like that, I would get to that as soon as physically possible, just because it's going to save you so much time. Otherwise, you can do it without it. You don't need to have it, but I always pay for convenience. I want things done faster, and I want to be able to see all my numbers and stuff. And so when Josh, for those of you guys that don't know about Ad Espresso, the last hangout we did, which I believe was 2 weeks ago, Carlson came out and kind of showed you guys what that was. Basically, it allows you to split test and track very, very fast. So you can take all of your countries you're targeting, all your interests, your demographic, all of your interests and targeting, and then basically it split tests every variation of all of them and puts up all the ads at once and splits your budget between all of them, and then you're able to see what ones are converting, what ones aren't. You get rid of the losers, keep the winners, and you can scale them up. Check out the last hangout. If you check the file section, we will have that in there. That'll touch a little bit about that, so you guys can see that there. As far as just learning how to make your team funnels, Josh, I believe you're in that other group. I haven't really done much with that yet. That will be a topic of conversation over there. I do have a video I can send to you if you don't have the video where I show you how to code everyone's emails and stuff. If you need that, shoot me a personal message and I'll send that over to you as soon as I can. Eric, I'm having a hard time getting people converted. I get them into the webinar, but haven't had anyone sign that besides the person I talked to face to face. Well, Eric, one thing I would suggest with that, I'm not sure exactly how long you've been running ads for one, but really it's all a numbers game. We know the webinars convert. It's not a matter of if the webinars convert. It's a matter of, are you driving enough people to the webinar? So really, what I would really mainly focus on is, again, we wanted to keep this extremely simple for everyone, right? This is why, like, there are some people that are exceptions, like Carlson or David or Josh, who are saying they're building their own pages and stuff. But for 99% of you here, 100% of your focus should be just going to ads. That should be 100% of your focus is going to ads and getting it down so you know you're getting enough people. Like the people that are getting all the, like for example, what was your name again? Sorry. Eric. For the people that are getting a lot of signups, I can guarantee you they're spending the most money on traffic and they're driving the most clicks, right? And I can guarantee you they're probably driving more than you. That doesn't mean it's good or bad, like where you're at right now. Some of you guys are starting at a $5 a day budget. Some of you guys are starting at a little bit more than that, right? So what I would suggest for you, Eric, is I would really get down, okay, how much can I spend every single month, no matter what? I've touched on this a couple times. I'm not sure if you've seen any of the other Hangouts, but how much can you spend every single month, no matter what, without making a dollar back at all that you would spend? So say, if, for example, if it was $10 a day, you had a $300 a month budget, you know every month, even if you made $0, you're spending $300 a month every single month. And your only goal is either just split testing on your own or getting Ad Espresso and split testing and split testing and split testing until you really get that part down and really kind of, that's really 100% of your focus should be just running ads. You're going to go through some times where you're going to get some people in and they show up to the webinar and they don't want to buy. I have numerous people that come in and we'll get hundreds of leads, and you know what? Only a percentage of them buy. Again, what you always want to keep in mind is that you're filling a pipeline here. You're going to have people that come in that don't necessarily buy right away from the ad. I've had people that have been on my list for 2 years that didn't even know anything about Doobly. I've had people on my list before we even started marketing Doobly, and I was marketing something else, and then all of a sudden, 2.5 years later, they come and they show up, oh, what's this webinar? And then they show up and they join and they buy. 2.5, 3 years they're sitting there, right? You're constantly filling a pipeline. As you start filling that pipeline and you get to 30, 60, 90 days, all of a sudden you start seeing sales come in, and now it's going to just keep rolling through because you're going to have a consistent flow of traffic coming. So I wouldn't really worry too much if you're not getting a bunch of sales right out of the gate. I'm not sure how long you've been in for or not. I would just say 100% of your focus should be just going and split testing ads and getting really, really taking the time to become an expert on ads. Like that's your only focus. right? Don't focus on building your own pages. Don't focus on nothing but ads. Literally, that's all you're going to do is be focusing on that. Don't even, not coaching calls, not any of that stuff until you've got the ads part down and you really get it converting. And you really shouldn't be doing coaching calls or any of that stuff until you start getting a consistent flow of sales. Like all I would be focusing on, Eric, would be just Facebook ads, split testing, get Ad Espresso. You can get it free for, I think, 14 days or something. If you need a link, I don't know, Carlson, is Eric in your team? No? I'm not sure whose team you're in, Eric, but hit me up in a personal message. We can hook you up with a link for that.
I think he's on Justin's. I could be wrong, but I think he's on Justin's team.
Justin? Okay, so hit up Justin. Hit up Justin. He'll be able to hook you up with that for sure. But that's basically what I would suggest moving forward here. I'm going to move on to Matt. Just create another profile. I'm going to buy a prepaid card tomorrow. I'm promoting my page. Hopefully I don't get flagged for anything. Okay. I've seen Matt. I've seen you get flagged numerous times, like countless times. One thing that I would really suggest, because what I've noticed is that like you'll get an account flagged, and then like 3 days later you have an account flagged already again, and then like 3 days later, like you really, one of those accounts should have only been seasoned in the time that you had 3 banned. From me looking out, I haven't really looked in too much, but from me at first glance, that's what I see. So it kind of raises that flag where that's a really unusual thing that I've never seen I've never seen someone get that many accounts banned so fast. So with that being said, what do we need to think about? Okay, that's unusual. Something has to be happening there to cause that to happen. That doesn't just happen, right? So there has to be something in the mix that's causing that to happen. Either one, you used a credit card that you've already used on a banned account, which you cannot do. 2, you've used a domain or a video that you've already used on a banned account. So credit card, domain, video, anything at all that you've ever used ever on an account that gets banned can never be used again. Domain, video, obviously you can just edit it a little bit. It can be the same basis to the video, but it needs to be changed a bit because it has a unique signature to each video. So as long as you change 30 seconds to a minute of the video, you're fine. So payment, so your credit card and or your PayPal, video, domain. Am I missing something? There's one other thing that we need to, so your profile and a fan page. So you need to have all of it. Season it, and don't even run a like campaign for like 2 weeks then. If you're getting into that big of an issue, don't run any ad at all. Like, just create content. Just create content. And if you're running out, like, what do I create for content? Well, you guys should all be reading and listening to audios every day. Take the chapter that you read or the little bit that you listened to in an audio and just regurgitate that information and what you learned from that and shoot it in a video or shoot it in a little post and just do that daily. Put three posts a day for a week without running an ad, no like campaigns, no nothing. Don't even run an ad at all. And do that for at least, I would say, a week. Doing 3 posts a day for a week, you should have 21 posts before you even touch a like campaign, and then I would see what happens from there. Because what I think is that, and this is what happens to you guys, is that we all want to come out of the gate and just run. We all want to get stuff done. We want to get it done now, and we want to get results, right? The thing is, we need to, things like this with Facebook, we need to take you need to take time with it, and you can't try and rush that too fast because it's not going to get you that result. I saw a quote today, and I don't know why that randomly popped into my head. I think it was Warren Buffett or something, and it's like, even like getting a girl pregnant, it takes 9 months. You can't just get 9 girls pregnant and have a kid in a month. It's still going to take 9 months no matter what. You have to put in that work. You still have to do what you need to do. You still have to season that page for the week and not run ads. Don't do stuff that's kind of like, if that's the issue and you're getting an account banned and then you're putting up a new one, it's getting banned, new one getting banned. Well, there's something in there. Just do what Facebook likes. Facebook likes creating content. They like keeping people inside of Facebook. And if you're brand new, I wouldn't suggest even running a like campaign for a bit till you really season that up. David was just moving on.
Yeah, a couple things you're echoing a little bad.
Here, 1 second.
Okay, yeah, a couple things that I did because I had several accounts get flagged. I made several at one time because I wanted to get my ads running up right away, but I kind of knew that, look, if I rush through this, it's going to let me run ads for a week or whatever, and just to kind of fill the gap. but I knew that that account was going to get flagged again, and it did. So what I did was I made 3 accounts at one time, and what I did was I really focused on seasoning one of them, but that one that I really focused on seasoning was my last one that I was actually going to use. And then I just used the other 2 as basically like a wash. I ran ads on them. I knew that they were going to get flagged, but I just did that so I could do it quickly and get ads rolling so I didn't have a huge downtime. But in that process, what ended up happening was that third one ended up being seasoned for like a whole 3 or 4 weeks before I actually was able to use it, because it took that long for the other 2 to get flagged. And that one now has lasted me, a month and a half or whatever, and it has had no issues. One thing I will say is that I think a lot of times, from what I've seen, is people they hurry up and they throw up a new Facebook page. Obviously, you're creating a new Facebook page and a new fan page. And what I've seen from some people is that they're not actually seasoning the personal page. And they're going through and they're seasoning the fan page, but they're not actually doing the right process to make yourself look like a real person to Facebook on the personal page end of it. So what I did on the one that was my third one that I was going to use long term is that I went in, I added a ton of friends to that page, and every single day for literally 3 weeks, I went onto my newsfeed and I liked 20 statuses of just random stuff that was coming onto my newsfeed on that new page. I would always send friend requests. I would comment, because Facebook actually monitors all that stuff that you're seeing. They will look at that page and see, are you commenting on statuses? Are you liking statuses? Are you adding friends? Are you sending friend requests? They're going to look at all of that stuff and they're going to grade that account based on, are you doing the things that, quote unquote, a normal Facebook user would be doing. They're going to look at all of that stuff. And so if you just throw up a personal page and a fan page, you season the fan page for 4 or 5 days, and you have 3 friends on the personal page, obviously Facebook's like, this is not what a normal person would be doing. They want to see that you are a real normal person, not just somebody that's throwing up ads on an account that just was made 3 days ago. So what I would suggest is even if you have no problems right now with your ads, if everything's running smooth, I would create a whole new backup account right now and just season both the personal page and the fan page. Focus on both of them. Do the things that normal people do, the things that you would do on your own every day, like statuses, comments on stuff, add friends, let people add you and accept their requests. All of those things to make Facebook think you're a real person. Another couple things that I did, when I ran into another little minor issue on my page, on this newer page, my page was all my ads randomly froze. Like, it didn't get flagged, they just froze. So I sent a message to customer support. The person was really helpful, said that my account was just randomly selected to be reviewed. Now, that could mean 100 different things. I mean, what that really means. But what they told me was that every account on Facebook at any time can be randomly reviewed by Facebook for whatever they look for. With that being said, I was like, shit, like my account's gonna get flagged, because I'm like, damn it, they're gonna find it and everything. But I did a couple things proactively in the beginning to kind of make it so that, knowing that actual real live people will go onto your page to evaluate it, I did things so that when at first look, by just going to my page, you're not seeing all the stuff that would be triggers, right? So the one thing I did was I didn't put my my web domain in the actual page information, right? Don't know if that works or not, but from common sense perspective, if somebody from Facebook is looking at that page and your website link is right there, they're going to click on it. Boom, it goes to your capture page. You're fucked right off the bat, right? I also didn't pin my video to the top, because that's going to be the first post that they see. So I'm running ads. My ads are doing great, but my ad video is like 50 posts down on the wall. So is that stuff fail-proof? Absolutely not. It's not a fail-safe thing, but it's little things that you can do to, knowing the fact that real people from Facebook look at your page, to prevent that stuff and make it harder for them to find exactly what you're doing on that page. So those are things, just from experience of having a couple accounts shut down, that now having one that has worked really well. I think if a lot of people, you really focus on definitely seasoning the page properly. If you I can almost guarantee you, if you season a new page for 4 or 5 days and run ads, you're going to get flagged. It's just a matter of time. You can do that, but you should be creating at least 2 or 3 at the same time, and one of those should be being seasoned for weeks, really well, before you ever touch it with ads.
Yeah, that's awesome. I hope you guys actually took some notes there and really to write that down. And like he's saying, it's not a foolproof way. Obviously, if someone really wants to look into your shit, they're going to find out something. They're going to see you're sending it straight to a capture page. Cool. But what it's going to allow them to do, though, some people, they're like, oh, but I want to have my link there just because if someone randomly comes by, then they can click on it. Guys, 99.99999% of all of your traffic are coming from your ads. They're not coming from people randomly stumbling across your fan page and then coming through and doing this. So you can have your post, like you said, 50 posts down, put all the other posts above it, right? So that when someone first glance, they don't see the link there, they look like you're just creating content, which you are, which they like. And then that's actually cool, that because when it's a real person looking, it's not a bot actually crawling the page. It's a person looking, so at first glance they're not going to see that. At first glance, they see that you're actually creating content and posting stuff up. It's not just your ad video and stuff like that, and that's really good. And then taking the time, I really like what you said, David, too, where you made 3 accounts, and your last one you really seasoned for the long amount of time, and that's the one that you ended up using. And look at that, guys. Those first 2 were gone in how long? Like 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks?
Yeah, I would say over the period of like a month. I think one was like right away. I got hit immediately, and then the second one maybe lasted a couple weeks.
All right, so yeah, I would definitely suggest for every single one of you, even if you don't have a backup right now, create 1, if not 2, if not 1, if not 2 backups, and season those so that be prepared that when this does happen, you're okay, you're good to go to be able to go and get that set up and get rolling, and it's not, you don't have any of that downtime, right? For the same reason that when you get a winning ad, you don't just run the winning ad forever and then when it stops, it stops. You're still split testing and have backups so that if that drops off, you have other ads that are still converting, right? That's awesome, dude. That's actually really good information.
One thing you guys can also do, in terms of the payment method, I use the PayPal account and just link your card to it. You can actually go into the PayPal account and completely deactivate that PayPal account. So what I found is that you can go in, because you can only have a certain debit card or credit card linked to one PayPal account. You can't create a separate one and link the same card to it. But I just went in and deleted the PayPal account, used a new email, created a whole new one, and then you can add the same card to it. That way you can still use the same payment method over and over and over again. Perfect.
I actually had no idea you could do that. Julian's just got his ears perked up, so that's great.
Yeah, it's super easy. Like literally, you just go into the settings. I mean, I had to dig for it. It's not like readily available, but it's right in the settings or wherever in your PayPal account. Delete the thing and just create a whole new one with the same email.
So that's what I would highly suggest for everyone is use PayPal as your payment processor. Hook your credit card or bank account to PayPal. If it gets if it gets flagged, do that.
Yeah, deactivate. No big deal.
If you have money in the PayPal, what you might even want to do is just create a separate PayPal as well. And if you have money, transfer it over, deactivate, reactivate, transfer the money back.
Yeah, I have my PayPal for my funnel, and then I use a completely separate, just bullshit PayPal that I just have that card linked to for payments.
For payments, perfect, dude. That's awesome. Awesome. That's really good to know. So yeah, that's how I would suggest for everyone, especially if you guys are running into issues. Like for me, it's not bad. I'm in Canada. We can just walk in, grab a new card, and get started again. But I know some of you guys are, if you're in the U.S. and different spots, that you actually have to wait 2 weeks, a week. I know Julian kept having to wait like a week to get a new card to come in, which sucks, and no one wants to have to wait for that. So that's actually awesome, David. Thank you. Let's see what else we got here. I've been running ads for about a month and a half. I have AdExpresso. Okay. So if you have AdExpresso, Eric, that's honestly, I would put all of my effort into focusing on that and really testing as many variations as possible. We know we're keeping everything between Canada, US, UK, and Australia. and we're not doing anything outside of those countries. If any of you guys go on target out of those countries, cool, that's great. I'm not guaranteeing that you'll get any results at all, because you can target the Philippines and you can get leads for like 10 cents, and that's great, but none of them are going to buy anything. So I would always stick between Canada, US, UK, Australia, and then you're just playing around with interests. So Eric, what I would be doing is playing around with those interests in Ad Espresso and really split testing as many variables as possible. Get to, like, go out. If you have, depending on what your budget is, if your budget's only $300 a month, I would spend $50 in one day just to find an ad that works, right? I'm not going to sit there and spend $10 a day to hopefully find one that works. I'm going to put $50 in one day so that at the end of that day, I have an ad that works. And if it doesn't, $50 the next day, because I'm going to test as much as I can as fast as possible, and then use the rest of my $300 ad budget to run the ad that's working once I found one that works. So really just put as much as your focus as possible into split testing. After $5 on an ad, if it's not getting you the results that you want, if you're spending over 50 cents a click, dump it, test some new ones. That's your main focus, is just going to be split testing ads. Corey, my problem has been with the age groups. The only age group I've done well with has been 18 to 24, and they don't typically have the money to sign up. Anytime I go over, my website clicks go to shit. Any recommendations? You know what's actually funny is that I actually noticed that too, that 18 to 24 you do get decent clicks. I noticed. I did run into that issue. My age range that I usually stick with is 24 to 45, or 25 to 45. And so I play with it where it's either 25 to 45, 25 to 35, or 35 to 45. So I play the whole 20 years, or I go 10 years on either side. I've found that seems to be the best to me. Once you kind of get over 45, the people they become a bit older. It doesn't mean they can't find someone that's going to convert. I've just found the best numbers I've got. I don't know about you, David, but I found 25 to 45, playing around in that age range is usually the best possible, just because even I've dipped down to like 23, 22, but 18 to 24, they're just getting out of high school, they're going into college, they're doing, a lot of them might be like, hey, you know what, I hate college, I want to get out, but a lot of them...
I get a shit ton of people in that range all the time.
Perfect.
And I don't get many PPAs out of it, but I get TMs from that age range. Not 18, but my biggest joining range is probably 20 to 28.
Yeah. So there you go.
But again, a lot of it has to do with what variables you're targeting. I hate to say it, but I can't remember. I was looking at the chat. Someone said that surfing's killing it. Yeah, a 19-year-old surfer probably doesn't have a whole lot of money. You know what I mean? I hate to say it like that, but certain people, there's certain interests. Carlos is laughing over there. But it's, depending on what people like. I mean, it just depends on the demographics, the area, all of those different things. They play into whether or not that age range is going to have the money or desire or whatever to join. There's a lot of factors in that, more than just the age. But when you do get those people that are over 30 that join, they're a lot of times going to have the money to go PPA. So it's kind of a balancing thing. As you'll find in your advertising, it's all a balancing thing. You'll get a lot of joiners, a lot of TMs and stuff like that from the lower age ranges. But the people that are in the older groups are going to be usually more committed, have a little bit more stability, and a lot of them are coming from having a more successful background, but just wanting more of the time freedom versus needing money. And so a lot of times they'll go to the PPA. So I personally do a lower age bracket up to that 40 to 45 mark. So it's just testing to see what works, I guess. By far, though, almost all of my clicks come for that lower age range. Like in terms of just straight clicks, it's probably 80%. And I don't know about anybody else, and it could be because I am targeting that lower age range, but any single time when I do a complete click breakdown of where my clicks are coming from, I've never had a computer click under $1 ever. Every single time I've done clicks that were both mobile and computer based, my clicks are super expensive for a computer. So I've just started running only mobile.
So you just started only running mobile ads. This is what I noticed too. For these guys, if you guys look at the demographics, you'll notice that 97% of them are from mobile. If you have them mobile and desktop clicks, and I think 90% are male too. Mm-hmm. What I've noticed too is like a very, very high percentage are usually male. Again, I would play around with this. When I did that, I'm actually made me curious to hear that, because when I saw that, I was like, oh, it's 90% mobile. Why the hell am I targeting desktop? I'm just going to target mobile. But then I found that when I targeted just mobile, and then I targeted mobile and desktop, most of my clicks are coming from mobile, but it was giving me cheaper when I targeted both than if I just targeted mobile. Did you see that too, or was it different?
You know, I didn't really pay attention enough to that aspect of it. I just know, like, because you can do a click breakdown of what you're paying per click by device.
Yeah.
And so I didn't pay attention to that, but I know all of my computer clicks were like sky high. I mean, just the cost per click on the computer-based ones was really high. Also, no judgment against females out there, but I've had literally so many girls that have come in and joined and came into the webinar, go through the coaching video, and want a refund. I don't know why. I don't know if it's just me. It could be completely random. No idea why, but it's definitely probably 90 to 95% men that have come through the webinars for me and my team, and I've had a much higher percentage-wise of women that have wanted refunds and decided to not go forward with it. I don't know why. It could be completely random, but it is kind of an interesting.
It could be random. I also have seen the exact same thing on my end. I don't know about you, Carlson. I don't know. I mean, I'm not the one that's going to be like, what's
up, lady?
They're all signing up with Carlson. That's fine.
No, actually, it's really funny on the same situation. I really don't have. I don't think I've actually. Wow, I have a few females that signed up, but it's mainly men 24 to 35 years old. It seems like the same demographic. They're coming from Canada and United States, and I get very little female interaction with my ads even. I'm posting right there, guys, in the group chat, just a couple snapshots of my ad presso where it shows you, like, male, or not male, female, but age groups I've been targeting, or how it all breaks down in the ad presso. And I can do females as well, and females are nowhere near. Let me see what age and gender. I'll post age, gender there too. This is just one of my ads, guys, but it shows you the difference of, like, oh yeah, this one has. Wait till you guys see this one. Sorry, go ahead, Jang. I'll post this, but I find males 24 to 35 to be my hottest out of a few hundred ads.
Yeah, don't be sorry, dude. If there's anything else too, is there anything you want to touch on with anything that's specific you've noticed?
No, you guys are absolutely right on point. Specific about a conversation. When some things earlier, guys, we were talking about, which I highly recommend doing, is like Jang said, get clear about what your budget is. And I'm working with my guys who create a 90-day budget, so you know exactly what you can do for the next 90 days, and that may increase as well. But you have to look at that and say, this is my budget for the month. I do not touch it, right? And then if and when you do move into profit, guys, you really should be taking that and reinvesting it. So if you have $100 this week for ad budget and you make $100, right, we should throw that back. So now you have $200, right, guys? So you can get in that place where you start scaling your business. But make sure you have that set aside and you have a game plan that's what you're going to work with, no matter what. All right, guys. Other than that, you guys are freaking right on point. I love it.
Awesome. Yeah, that's and that's honestly, like, I think I've touched on it a couple of times, but I know some of you guys are new and you might not have heard that, but that is one thing, and I mentioned a little bit before. When you know your budget and, like, you know what you're going to spend every single month, no matter what, no matter if you make $0 or if you make $1,000 or if you make $10,000, you have a budget that no matter what, you're spending at least that much every month. And for everyone, it's going to be different, but figure out what it is. Needs to be, I would honestly say everyone can find at least $10 a day to do $300 a month. Some people might be in a little bit more of a situation where maybe you have to do $150 a month. I don't know, okay? But I would say 95% of you can put a $300 a month marketing budget in, unless you're in a really, really crazy situation. But when you want something bad enough, you find a way. Once you have that down, I can figure out how to allocate $300 every single month, no matter what, okay? and then and then guys, you could say you spend the $300, you make nothing. Say, for example, I'm just going to say that number just so you guys, maybe that happens. Maybe you make nothing. So the next month you have $300 ad budget again because you're going to spend $300 again. Now say that month you made $100. You spent $300, you made $100, so you're at a loss of $200. Most people look like, but because you know that you're putting a $300 ad budget every single month, well, guess what? Now you have $100 on top of that $300. Now all of a sudden you have a $400 budget, right? So now you spend that, and maybe you make $200 the next month. Now you take that $200 and put it on top of your $300 for the next month, and now you have $500. You'll notice that even operating at a loss, your advertising budget still continues to go up as long as you're compounding it over. This is one of the things where when you're compounding your earnings that you're making, especially all the money that you're making in your business, you guys should be compounding back in over until you get to a point where it's like, okay, I can live at this amount, I can, and I'm good. I'm making $5,000, $10,000 a month. Okay, I'll take some out for myself. But you gotta keep compounding that over, because if you make $100 and then you go spend that $100 and then you go have your $300 ad budget, well, guess what? You're going to be doing the exact same thing every single month for the rest of your life, and that's what's going to happen, right? And I've done it. I've done it over and over, because I would be like, man, I made $100, sick, and I'd spend it all that night, and it was gone. And then the next month, I'm like, it's okay, I got a $300 ad budget again. But now it's like, even if I make the $100, and then I go spend it again, and then I'm in the same spot. But when you compound it over, all of a sudden your ad budget goes from 300 to 400 to 500 to 800 to 2,000. All of a sudden it gets to the point, and I remember Justin came on couple weeks ago, and he's like, dude, I got a $4,000 advertising budget for this month. And I'm like, that's awesome. Like, that's perfect. It should always be going up. It should never go down. But you need a set amount, like, and if 300 is the lowest you go, that's fine. But a set amount that you know you could spend every month, no matter what, if you make $0. Okay? And then when you know that, it's taking that budget every month and compounding every dollar you make in Doobly and putting it back on that advertising budget to scale that up. And you want to just keep doing that. And just keep moving up with it. Your budget's going to get bigger. You're going to get more clicks. You're going to have more leads. You're going to have more sales, and that's how you're going to be able to scale up fast enough, is if you start compounding that money back over and going and doing that.
Yeah, I mean, really focusing on a 6-month, 9-month, 12-month game plan. I mean, like we talked about last week, it's really about, in the first month or so, getting your first 3 people. I mean, that's what we hammered on last week, getting your first 3 people, and then it's getting, your first 12 people, and so on and so forth. This whole thing is not, I mean, it is to an extent about what you can bring to the table personally, but it's not about just you signing up a bunch of people. It's having a team of 30 people underneath you who are all producing, and then creating the whole cycle over and over. Really, I always tell everybody, like, look, just while you're building your first, like, initial front line, just try and break even, right? Don't worry about making all this money, because this is not a get-rich-quick deal. It isn't at all. Is it possible to make profit your first month? Yes, I did. Maybe I'm just lucky. Who knows, right? I'm no one special, but I did, and I didn't have any experience. I just did the system and ran with it. But just focus on breaking even. If you can get whatever you spend in ads back in commissions your first month or 2, even 3 months, you're doing great, because in that process, even though you're not profiting or making money, you're building your team. And that's the whole key. This thing is not about making $10,000 a month because you get 100 people in a month that come through your advertising. It's not like that. It's, you're trying to get as many people as you personally can, but your goal is to build a team underneath you so that those people can replicate the cycle and really start producing themselves, and that's what's going to start earning you those large incomes each month. When you have a team of 30, 40 people directly underneath you, who then each of those people have 5 people underneath them, and they're growing and growing, that's when the Doobly cycle money starts really kicking in, and all the other income starts really hitting big time. And so that's your main goal in the beginning, is don't worry about making all this money in the very beginning, because it's just not the way the system is built. This is a long-term game plan. It's focusing on building your team, building your skills, and building your personal development. Those are the 3 main things in the first several months that will set you up. I really kind of, in the first several months, I mean, I made like $2,000 my first month, I believe, or it was right around $2,000. But I really didn't make much more than that the first several months. I think the first 4 months I went, and I pretty much would spend, I would spend money and I would maybe make a little bit over what I would spend. I'd maybe make $500 or $1,000 over my ad budget. Then all of a sudden, like month 5, it's like boom, like it just like I got like $3,000 in cycle money or something stupid. It was like it just all of a sudden it just snowballed drastically. In like month 5, I made like $6,000 like out of nowhere, and so it really is about building that team up over the first several months and really mastering the different skill sets of the marketing ends of things. And it comes. I mean, as you start getting 10, 20 people underneath you, and those people start bringing people in, the money starts snowballing for sure. But without focusing on building that team in the beginning, none of it really happens.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's one of the things that I like how you touched on that. Like, yes, compared to like traditional business model, this is a lot faster way to create wealth. Great. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme that you're going to get rich right away. Yeah, David can come in and get in profit his first month. Yeah, we have Steve King that does $7,000 his first month. You do have those random success stories of people just crushing it, and that could happen to you. Cool. But don't expect to be that person. I want you to look at this. Look at this as like this is ultimately you're creating your dream lifestyle here, or a vehicle in order to get you to the point of creating your dream lifestyle. Does it matter how long it takes? Like I remember when I first got in, I didn't give a shit if it would take me how long did it take? I started in this industry when I was probably like 15, failed forever, but I really didn't start going till the last 2 years, 2-3 years or so, probably 3 years now. But it was like it doesn't matter because even if it takes me 3 years, even if it takes me 10 years, and then I get to live my life where I never wake up to an alarm clock again. I get to travel wherever. Me and Julian are just up planning our trip. We're going to go fly to Thailand or something in January for a couple months. Like this is the thing, guys, is some of you guys are going to get frustrated over the first month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. Typically, the number for the average drop-off in our industry is 90 days, typically. Right? Because people come in here with that get-rich-quick mentality. Having that mentality is not going to get you very far. I'm just going to tell you that just because you don't get what you want, guys. You get who you are, right? If you want to be a successful business owner and you want to create a dream lifestyle, you need to first focus and develop your skills, right? Which is why we're teaching you how to run Facebook ads. So you guys need to develop that skill. You need to start focusing on yourself. You need to become that business person. And you're not going to become that person in a month, in 2 months, 3 months even, right? It's going to take a while. You're going to have to build those habits, get in the process, build your team, work with them. This is the thing too, your main focus in the beginning, getting your first 3 people, but really working with those people too, especially in the beginning. As you start getting a big team and, you have 200, 300, 400 people in your team, yes, it gets extremely difficult to have those personal conversations with everyone. You can't do it. But at the beginning, when you only have 2, 3, 4, 5. You guys should have a little Skype chat, have a little group that you're chatting with daily, you're working with together. You guys are all kind of at a very similar level. We're bouncing ideas off each other. You guys should be using Ad Espresso and split testing, working together with stuff, sharing what's working for you and what's working with other people, but really developing that group of people because that's where the real income is. The income is not from your upfront personal sales. The income is from building that team and actually having something in place that allows them to duplicate the same results for themselves. And then all of a sudden when you fill that pipeline and you got a pipeline of people, like David's saying, all of a sudden fifth month comes around, boom, and it blows out, right? The money is not from the upfront getting that sale. The money is from when you have their team of 20 people that all go get one sale. You know what I mean? Now it starts to really duplicate and come out, and you start to see that big income. Your main goal, and what's funny is actually I don't even like to quote this guy because I don't even agree with him. So and some of you guys know Nate O'Brien. He does very, very well in e-commerce. But he was saying he struggled in this industry in MLM for 5 years, made nothing, absolutely nothing, because all he was focusing on was he wanted to ball out. That was his thing. He wanted to ball out. He wanted to make money so he could just throw money in the air. That was his whole purpose, right? So he made nothing, absolutely nothing, because that's all he cared about. All he cared about was himself. But as soon as he switched that and started going, okay, how can I help other people? How can I make this more about myself and more about other people than about myself? And then instead, he started going, okay, well, if I want to help other people, I need to become a person that has the value that can take that value and help other people with it, right? And as soon as he shifted that focus from instead of helping myself to helping others, all of a sudden he started making way more. The guy does 6 figures a month in e-commerce and teaching all these different stuff, does courses all over the place. But he shifted from instead of focusing on me, getting my results, doing my stuff, to because what happens too is some of you guys will be testing ads and you'll be working with your team. Maybe you get an ad that converts and you got a team of 6 people. And you're like, oh, this ad's really converting, but I don't want to give it away to everyone because then it's going to take away from me. You know what I mean? Don't have that poverty mindset. That's exactly what it is. And it's a scarcity mindset, thinking there's not enough for everyone, but there's more than enough for everyone. Work with those people, those 6 people, those 5 people, those 2 people that you have right in the beginning. Work closer with them. If you find something that works and is crushing it, show them. And then when they find something, they're going to show you, but really work together and develop those people. If you have books that you learn something that just really gave you the biggest breakthrough ever, teach them, show them what it helped you. You know what I mean? Put more of your focus, like if you want some, what's that Zig Ziglar quote? You can have anything you want in life so long as you help enough others get what they want, right? You can have anything you want in life so long as you help enough others get what they want. For those of you guys that want the big results, you want to be able to make a full-time income online, help other people create a full-time income online. How do you do that? You need to develop your skills enough so that you can take that knowledge and teach those people. It's kind of like the learn, do, teach principle. First, if you're wanting to develop this team, you need to nail Facebook ads. So your 100% of your focus should be going into Facebook ads so that when you're building that team, you can teach them kind of the tricks that you use in your ads, right? Focusing on what books are you reading, but really focusing on helping and guiding your people as much as possible, because that's where your main income is going to be, is developing that group of people that you're with and really, really developing them into leaders, developing them into people that are really going to take stuff and run with it, because that's where the real income is going to come from. Then all of a sudden, you're developing those people and setting that example for them. Now those people take the initiative and they start teaching their people the same way that you've done for them, right? And you want to kind of, I would put my main focus into that. So in order to help others, obviously you got to put the mask on yourself before before you can go help the other people. You got to be able to learn the stuff from yourself, but you want to make sure that you take that knowledge and really focus on developing that team that you're working with. Get those 3, like we said from the beginning. Your first thing is getting those 3 people, but then working with those 3, really showing them like, okay, well, this is what works for me, this is what doesn't work for me, but really kind of getting into that. And if you don't have anyone right now, 100% of your focus should be going into just split testing ads and doing it until it works. We know it works. If it's not working for you right now, well, what do we need to do to get it to work? It's not a fact of if it works and does it work or does it not. We know it works. It's done over $1 million in sales in the last 6 months. It works. It's just a fact of how do we get it to work for you. All right, so it's just going through, and honestly, guys, I hate to be the guy that says the same thing over and over again, but this is all we're doing is literally you split test your ads. And if you're not getting results, you're like, oh, I've been split testing and I haven't get results. Split test more.
Couple things now.
Yeah.
In terms of the video, the one thing that I noticed just seems to be a fairly constant thing that I'm pretty certain works. And you'll see me do it all the time, and I think I've seen a lot of other people do it all the time. But if you're anyone out there that has posted an ad video, the one thing that I've seen over and over again that makes it convert better is getting likes and comments on that video. You'll see me and several other people reach out into the different group chats with the direct link. You have to find the direct link to that video. You can't just like put up your profile page or whatever, but actually go into your page, click on the video, and then go to the browser link and copy and paste the actual link that takes you right to that video. Post it all over the different groups. Post it in the chats, post it in the different pages, and just ask people to like and comment on your video. You want the comments to be simple, like, hey, looks interesting, just register, something like that. But literally, again, human nature, just think human nature. If you see a video yourself and that video has 8,000 comments and 15,000 likes on it, you're going to be more interested in it than a video that comes across your feed that has 2 likes and a comment. It's just human nature. It's just what it is. So like right now, I mean, my video now has like 300 likes on it and, 60, 70 comments, and it's been running for 6 weeks. It does make a big difference in terms of your overall conversions. When people see that type of activity on it, they are going to be more likely to not only click on the link, but follow through and register with it, and follow through and attend, or and all that stuff. So those things, without a doubt, play a big factor in the overall conversions of that video, for sure.
Absolutely. And did you read the book Influence, David?
No.
So the reason why that is, and that's cool that you brought that up. The reason why that is because it's social proof, and we do this in everything. When you go to something and everyone in the world's buying this product, what does that do? It causes you to go, hey, why is everyone else wanting to buy it? Maybe I should want to, right? So do that, guys. Grab your post, like David's saying, post it in all the groups. I've noticed a lot of you guys doing that. And that's awesome if it does that kickstart, because then it allows other people to go, hey, well, if 20 other people liked it and 10 people, and more people are liking it and commenting it, now you have 300 likes. You'll notice that, wow, my leads are getting a lot cheaper. I would notice that a lot when we have hundreds and hundreds of likes on a page. And absolutely, and that's exactly, it's social proof. So for those of you guys, definitely do that. Grab the link to your ad post, get some likes and comments on it, and just little things. It doesn't even be crazy. Oh, I just registered. Oh, I'm excited to show up. Can't wait to see what this is about. Something like that. Obviously positive and uplifting, but it doesn't need to be a story comment. It can be something very simple.
Yep. And just a blanket statement for everyone out there, because I know that just people on my team I've seen, and people that have asked me questions about help on ads that are on other people's teams and stuff like that. There's still people to this day that, Matthew, are like using the ad in the GSD training. Like, it's still happening. If there's somebody out there that doesn't understand when we're talking about split testing, if you really don't understand what that means, please just reach out to whoever your mentor is so that we can lay it out to you more specifically. I know a lot of you have gotten your capture pages and threw up one ad, right? And that isn't what this is or how it works. It doesn't work like that. When you split test, you should be throwing up at least 10 ads, right? We've thrown out a lot of good ideas as to the general demographics of who comes and who works. I always have, since the beginning, told all my new people that go to the AWOL Power Players page, the main group, and just look at the people joining. It's not fucking hard, in terms of that aspect. If you just look at the people that are joining left and right during the webinars, it's a trend. Overall, there's a trend of people that you'll see coming into the webinar. Ages, sex, so on and so forth. That's the main thing. I mean, you only have 4 different things. Ages, you have male or female, you have the location of where they live, and you have the interests that they have. Those are the 4 things. By looking at the AWOL Power Players page and also the things that we've discussed tonight, you can knock out 3 of those 4. Sex, age, location. All you have to worry about is interests. Just by listening to the conversations tonight, you know the basic demographic of who we're targeting. It's just split testing different interests to see what hits and what doesn't hit. And Matthew and I could right now both throw up the exact same ad to a T. Matthew's could kill and mine would suck. It's just the way it works. I've done it myself. I've had an ad that wins, and I try it again because it starts going away, and all of a sudden I run the exact same ad, and it's like $1.50 a click. There's no rhyme or reason. Who knows? Facebook has their own algorithms that I'm sure they're never going to let anybody really know how they, place their different ads. But all you should be testing is, once you nail down the age, location, sex, male or female, is throwing up 10 different ads and literally literally just throwing up 10 different ads of different interests and everything like that. The other thing that I've seen people do, and there is an advanced method where you can utilize the create similar ad part of things. There's a kind of an advanced technique that I'm not going to discuss here because I don't want to confuse people that are new. But when you're brand new and you're just creating your first couple rounds of split tests, you want to make sure that you are creating a separate ad each time you do a split test. You don't want to use the create similar ad button, because it's going to lump all your ads into one group and share that budget among all of them. So if you see that, it's called the Create Similar Ad button. If you're just brand new, you don't want to use that yet. You look really confused, Matthew. You're on mute.
No, that was good. I was just going through.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking. Sorry.
Reading some stuff in here, but yeah, that's good. We're right on the hour, guys. I'd love to jump on more, but I know that a lot of you guys are in Elite. For those of you guys that are in there, jump over there now. I know Cal and Cameron will be starting right on time. For those of you guys that do need to jump over there, go ahead and do that now. Thanks for everyone for you guys coming and showing up, and just kind of an overview on everything there. Really, that's all coming down to. When you're first getting started, it might take you a little bit, but all you're really focusing on, like David said, is you're really just getting down the interest. And I mean, that was actually a really good tip for those guys that if you guys caught that, where David's saying, look at the people that are signing up, right? Like look at who's signing up. That'll give you a very, very good estimation on who you're going to see a trend there. You're going to see a trend on the gender, the ages, the demographics. You're going to see a trend very, very easily, and you're going to notice like, hey, pretty much everyone that's coming in here is kind of in the same pretty much pocket, and it's going to be very easy for you guys to be able to go out and really, all you guys really have to focus on is interests at the end of the day. It might take you guys a month. It might take you guys 3 months. It might take you forever. I don't know how big your ad budget is. It might take you a ridiculous amount of time. Some of you guys might come get results right away. But if you're not getting results right now, the only variable in this equation is you. Split test more. Do more stuff. Do not take no for an answer. Do not take, if for me, like if I'm doing something and I don't get a result, I don't just go, oh man, like this sucks, I'm done. No, I go and split test more and more and more and more and more, and I do it until it works. It's not a fact of if it works or maybe it doesn't. This works. It's just about you making it work, and we're trying to give you as much as possible to show you guys how to do it without, like David's saying, we can't just give you an ad because guess what? It could work good for me, it could work good for Carlson, but then it shits the bed for David, right? Or whatever. It doesn't. And there's no way for us to control that. But if you guys split test and keep doing it over and over, guess what? When you run into an ad that converts, awesome. We need to create a new one later on. You know how to split test. You know how to create another ad. It's not like I gave you one, then it stops working, and you go, oh, what do I do now? And you freak out. You know how to split test. This is why spend the time on that. 100% of your effort should be going to split testing. And then when you build that little bit of your team, it should be getting a little group together and all split test together. Hey guys, when I target college football or gambling or surfing or freaking golf, it converts really good. Cool, bounce ideas off each other. I don't know, I'm just throwing random things off the top of my head. But like just work together with those groups. And if you don't have a group right now, like that you're working together, it doesn't even need to be people in your team. Go in the chat here. Go into our groups here. Be like, hey guys, anyone want to have a little mastermind of 3 people? It's best to get 3 at least, but have 3, 4 people in a little group, and you just compare your data every day. Okay, I split this at this worked, this didn't. Cool, and just kind of bounce ideas off each other, and it's going to help you guys a lot. I mean, me and Julian would do that for 2 years, every day, comparing data over and over. I just okay, what works, what doesn't work, what copy works, what copy doesn't work, and we would just bounce ideas off each other over and over and over. And it really, really helps you guys, especially when you're going through split testing, to have that group of people that are all kind of doing it at the same time, so you guys can be testing 4 times, 5 times the amount of data than one person can. With that being said, we got to kind of jump off here pretty quickly.
Yeah, one last thing, 30 seconds. One thing that was really cool that happened this last, like over the last week, one of the guys on my team, Roman, he's been working really hard, right? Like been going at it. The guy was he kind of was getting frustrated. Not gonna lie, he started. I can't remember. It's probably been 2 months ago. He started. He had spent like over $1,000 and had one TM that had signed up underneath him. He's like, man, you know, he's like, but I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up. I'm gonna keep going. He kept going because he had all these leads that were coming in that just weren't converting. Like they were coming in through the webinars, nothing was happening. Literally, like the end of the month rolled around. Boom, 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 boom. He had like all these leads that had come to the webinar. He got like 6 people, like at the end of the month, and probably just from payday or whoever, whatever. But it really goes to show that it is that building the pipeline thing. He was getting, it was like he was weeks away from just getting so frustrated. He's like, man, it's just not gonna work. I'm spending all this money. I could see it. I mean, I could see it was right there where he was getting to that frustrated point, and he kept the pace, kept moving forward, and it all at once, boom. I mean, he started getting people rolling in, and he's like, he got that first 3 people in the $300 bonus coming. He's like, it works, it works. I mean, he was like it was so funny. He's like, it works, it really works.
That's so, I saw that too, and I kept seeing his name pop up because he's welcoming them in.
Yeah, he's welcoming everybody.
Roman, if you're here, congratulations, buddy. I saw that. Guys, but think about this, right? He's frustrated. He's about to quit. He's like, or getting really frustrated. I don't know if he was about to quit or not, but getting frustrated with it. Guys, every one of us that has good results, we can ask Julian right now. You can ask Carlson. Every single one of us has gone through numerous times where we're like, fuck this. Like, what the hell? Like, I'm doing it. I'm doing all the work. Why isn't it working? Just keep pushing forward, keep doing it. This is, again, why we talk about focusing on personal development and all this stuff, because you know that you're going to come into times of temporary defeat, and that's all that it is. And just like Thomas Edison, they had an interview, it took you 10,000 times, you failed 10,000 times to create a light bulb? He goes, no, I didn't fail 10,000 times. I just found 10,000 ways that didn't work, right? And it didn't matter how many times. He was going to go through and figure out how to make it work, right? We know that it works. It's not about creating a light bulb that may or may not work. We know it works. It's just about figuring out the combination of what you need to do to get it to work. You're going to come into times where it's frustrating. Believe me, I've had tons. I can't even count. I can't. I've had so many. Is it worth it? You bet your ass it's worth it. You bet your ass it's worth it. Because, God, well, David, you're starting to see this now too. It's starting to really start to blow out. Carlson, you're seeing the same thing too. And you're going to get to the point where you'll never work a job in your life again. Ever. You know what I mean? And like, this is only one source of, guys, like, this is one part. This is obviously a vehicle to get us somewhere. We're only talking, $5, $10, $20, $30,000 a month. Guys, this is a small vehicle in the beginning to get you somewhere. Once you have money, then it's to the point of like, what do you want to create? You know what I mean? Like, the thing is that most people, you guys might have passions or things that you love to do that right now, if you wanted to start a business in that field, it would cost you $100,000 or $500,000, and you don't have the money to do that. This is the opportunity to not only create a $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month income, which to some of you might be cool, and that's what you want. But for those of you guys that really want to do a lot of other cool things, like, there's so many ways that we're going to be able to diversify and get to points of, so it's so much bigger. Like, it's so much bigger than just this. So, like, no matter what happens, when you look at the big scale things and you look at how far you can go with this and where this can lead you, like now, I'll never work a job in my life again. I'll never go under $10,000 a month, and I'll be able to take that income to invest in other different income streams. I can start tapping into investing into whatever I want to, right? All because of this, right? So when you look at the bigger picture like that, like now when I look at this, it's not me looking at like just one income that we're doing here. I'm looking into creating our own companies, doing all these other different things, right? But it all starts kind of here. So all these little things that happen, not getting ads that convert right away, not getting campaigns, not getting enough leads, not getting enough front-end sales, these are all so minor when you look at the big picture. It's the tiniest thing. It's like, who cares? I don't give a shit if it doesn't convert for a year. Because when it does, guess what? When it does, it's all going to be worth it. It's all going to be worth it. Because now you have the ability to go out. Guys, we live a lifestyle. Me and Julian talk about this all the time. And we're just like, we live a lifestyle most people dream about. And every one of you guys watching this right now has the exact same ability. The only difference between me and David and Carlson and Julian and you is the time and the energy that we put in. That's it. We're not better. We're not smarter. We don't have any special skills. My grade 8 teacher told me I was going to be a failure and never amount to anything, and I might as well just give up and go work at McDonald's, right? But I didn't have any special skills. I just put in the time and the energy that I needed to. And when a little thing came up like that, if I didn't have Ask and Convert, guys, I see people that talk about that, and I laugh so much because everyone's like, well, I've spent $500. I've spent $1,000, and I haven't made $1 yet. Guys, I spent $2,000 over like a year and a half to get a $25 sale. Like, dude, I don't take that as an excuse. I'm like, guys, you don't even understand. Like, it doesn't matter, because who cares? Because it's the big picture at the end that makes it worth it. It doesn't matter if it takes you a year. It doesn't matter if it takes you 2 years, which it'll never take for all of you guys that are here, because we have this all in place for you guys. But it doesn't matter. And when you look at the bigger picture, all these things that get thrown in your way all of a sudden become so much smaller, because based on the context, you're looking at a big picture of where you want to be way up here. When a little thing happens down here and it doesn't convert, who cares? Keep going, keep split testing, keep testing more, keep driving more clicks, getting more leads, converting more leads. All you're focused on right now is Facebook ads. And you should only be focusing on those ads and split testing until you get to a point where you have a consistent flow of members coming in.
Yeah, until you have at least like 10, 15 people.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be worried about anything advanced. Nothing.
No.
Because if you don't have 10 to 15 people on there, then you're not doing the basics right. That's a fact. There's no way around, no nice way of saying it. If you don't have 10, 15, 20 people underneath you, you're not doing the basics properly.
And there's nothing wrong with that. It just means that
unless your focus is off, unless you're focusing on other things, then it's wrong. That if you're focused on all the other stuff, then it's probably a bad thing.
Yeah.
If you're focused on the basics and you're working on that stuff, then yeah, it's just keep plugging away. Just don't get distracted with all this other craziness.
Yeah. Yeah. And then when you get to the point where you're doing 15 people on a webinar like David, then build your own stuff. You know what I mean? Then you're good to go. But yeah, it's as long as you're focusing, and it's not just like doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. That's the definition of insanity. You don't test the same interests over and over and go, it's not working, no matter what. Try different interests, but keep doing something, right? Keep testing different ones and log the ones that you test and go, hey, well, these ones I tested didn't work. And so you know which ones later on, when you're going to test other things, you can kind of figure out, okay, well, I know not to test these ones because they didn't work, but I can start to test some new ones. Like, just constantly be changing new interests, new demographics, new combinations of them all. If you're using Ad Espresso, it makes it extremely easy to do this. It's not like you have to manually go and do that. We do have software like that allows you to just kind of put your interest in, and it creates all the variations for yourself. But yeah, guys, really, it's just a matter of really figuring out how bad do you want it. I mean, we've talked about it a few times. It's like, do you want it bad enough? Yes, cool. Then just do it. Just do it. Just split test and just do it.
Like I said, we don't, Matthew and I, Eric, we don't own Facebook. We don't make money by you wasting money on Facebook.
No, I don't. You can go and waste $1,000 on there. I don't earn a commission from that.
Yeah, so we wouldn't tell you to do it if it doesn't work. There's no benefit or point in us wasting our breath telling you to do this stuff, because we don't make anything unless you're successful. Like nothing. If somebody just joins up and doesn't make a sale, it doesn't do anything for me. It doesn't do anything for Matthew. It doesn't do anything, right? If somebody comes in and isn't successful, I literally spend more time working with them than I ever get back out of it. So I have every incentive. Matthew has every incentive. We all have every incentive in the world to tell you the right things. We're not benefiting from you spending all this wasted money on Facebook ads or focusing on the basics, all that stuff. It literally just because we know it works. The system works. There's too many people that have come in and made real money with it. Too many people, over and over and over. And again, I say it again and again, the people on my team, combined all together, I have like 40 people underneath me. The people who have done the best and made the most money along the way have just focused on advertising every single time. If they just focus on ads, they're willing to spend real money on ads once they find one that converts. And they, even for a couple weeks, up that budget as high as they can for a couple weeks, it happens every single time.
Yeah. Steve King doesn't even know what a coaching call or a capture page is, right? He just crushes ads. And the thing is, too, is not to be afraid. When you get an ad that converts, scale it up and do it obviously in increments, but get to the point of spending $100, $200, $300 a day. Guys, I've never in my life done a $10,000 month where I wasn't spending at least $50 to $100 a day in ads. Never, right? And then to do 30,000, I had to spend $250 a day in ads for 30 days, right? So it's all, when you guys start to figure it out and you get an ad that's converting, right? It's like you have a machine. You know every dollar is giving you $5 back. How many times are you going to sit there and put the dollar in? You're going to put as much as possible, but sometimes some of you got a little scared and you're like, oh, I don't. And I know, I've had the feeling too, and it's like, I want to spend the money, but what if it doesn't come back? What if, God, this is why we test the ads. This is why we know when it's converting, you know you can spend that money on that ad. When you know it's under 50 cents a click, you know you can spend the money there and it's going to come back. So just scale it up. If you get an ad that's converting, scale it up to as much as you can possibly within $10 to $20 increments per day, but scale it up as fast as physically possible. And I guarantee you're going to get way, way more results, because ultimately the end of the game is the more clicks, the more leads you're going to get, the more sales you're going to get. So the more money you spend, that's ultimately where it's going to go. As long as you're keeping track of your numbers, it doesn't mean you spend $1,000 where you're spending $3 a click. It means you're making, you're making sure you're getting 50 cents a click. You spend as much as your little heart desires, and you're going to be able to get a lot better results. But yeah, that's really ultimately all you really have to do is just focusing on that. Like David said, the people that are getting the big results are the people that are focusing on advertising, and that's it, right? All the other stuff you don't even really need to do. That's why we have all this stuff in place. That's why me and Julian are putting together the system for you guys as well, to even systemize the process even further, right? But we want to make it as easy as possible so that you can just focus on ads, right? Once you get to the point where you have 10, 15, 20, 30 people in your team, cool. Then let's advance and go into some other stuff. For now, 99% of you should just be doing ads. If you need Ad Espresso, get Ad Espresso. Hit up David or Justin or whoever your mentor is. Hit them up. Get Ad Espresso. Get that set up if you need to. If you can't afford it, fine. Just split test on your own. But as soon as you can get to that point, I just know that it's just going to help you a lot when it comes to split testing, just because you can do so many at the same time. And that's basically the biggest thing that most of you guys should be focusing on. So with that being said, I got to run. I'm 15 minutes over here. David, that was awesome, dude. I appreciate you so much for coming out. For every single one of you guys, too, I appreciate all you guys for coming out, and we will see you next Wednesday.
Later.
Take care, guys.